the precipice of the best day of the year. The holiday season is upon us. And before we feast on Thursday, we feast on Texas high school football in the area round of the 2025 Texas high school football playoffs with Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Ashley Pickle. What a weekend of Texas high school football. We are narrowing it down. We started with 704 teams. We are now down to actually, I can tell you, 177. There's still one game going on right now at 10:31 p.m. on Saturday night. We'll get to that in a moment. But we have narrowed down the field, and as they say, there are no turkeys after Thanksgiving. If you're playing next week, you're practicing on Thanksgiving.
This is always the week. Heading into regional semifinals, we get to this point, all the games almost are done. Matt Stepp is at the one that's not done, by the way, to be completely on brand. But we get to the point where regional semis are in the forefront of where we're looking, and it's like, okay, this is for real. Bad teams don't make it this far. None of these are anomalies. Like you said, no turkeys make it to Thanksgiving.
It is all the way through as we are here to the area round of the Texas high school football playoffs. We're so pleased that you are spending your Saturday evening with us. Why wait? Let's get straight into the action. Highlights from across the state. We start in 6A Division I in Region 1, where the Coppell Cowboys took on the Richardson Eagles. In action in Carrollton we go, where Coppell starts fast. Sophomore quarterback Carter Zingelman going to loft the ball. Jacob Manini is on the other end of it. It's a 20-yard scoring strike. Cowboys are up early. Now 14-0 when the Eagles would strike back. Zach Brazil, 4th and 1, takes the handoff for more than just one. It's an 18-yard score, cuffs the deficit in half to 14-7. But the night would belong to the Cowboys and Zingelman. This time, pump and go. Crew Davis on the other end. It's a 25-yard strike. Then into the fourth quarter, Cowboys in control. Zingelman finds Jaden George, his third touchdown pass of the night. Coppell into the regional semifinals, 38-7 over Richardson. We take a look at how the brackets break down. They will draw North Crowley, who were winners today after, against Midland Legacy 63-17. Odessa Permian through to the regional semifinals after a thrilling win over Mansfield Lake Ridge 30-28, and it was Allen. No problem with Lake Ridge. Got some style points this time, 41-7 over Lake Highlands.
Yeah, that was a big win for Permian. I think that they went out there and they really took care of business. But obviously, all eyes are going to be on that North Crowley Coppell game. I mean, that's a fireworks factory. You've got the reigning state champs. You've got, Coppell, who got knocked out by them last year. This is where your eyes go. That is box office stuff there in Region 1. All right, how about we go to 6A Division I Region 2, and this one we go down to the greater Houston area for Cy Ranch taking on Conroe Grand Oaks. We start off here in the first quarter, and it's Grand Oaks. Their senior quarterback, Grant Smith, fakes the handoff, looks towards the end zone. He's going to let it sail and find Darnell Jackson Jr. in the very back of the end zone for the 20-yard score to put the Grizzlies up first. Still in the first quarter, Cy Ranch looking for the answer when Brandon Baker would let this one fly, hitting Connor Dandridge on the far sideline, who will outrun the Grand Oaks defender. Can he make it there? Yes, he sure can. 76 yards to the house. To the third quarter, Cy Ranch up 20-6 when Baker would find senior running back Peyton Thomas on the short pass. He'll cut back inside and stride into the end zone to extend the lead 27-6. Mustangs. Fourth quarter. To the fourth quarter we go. Cy Ranch sends the blitz under pressure, but Grand Oaks able to get this one off, and he finds Darnell Jackson Jr. for his second score of the night. Cy Ranch does go on to win that one at 27-13. In the bottom side of the bracket, they will be going on to take on the Waxahachie Indians, who got a great win over North Forney, 37-20. And then on the top side there, we've got Duncanville. Reginald Samples back in with a big 43-6 win over Rockwall Heath. They will be facing Klein Collins, who took down the Woodlands 42-27.
Yeah, I think you got to give a ton of credit to Shane Tollison's Waxahachie Indians. What a performance, a virtuoso performance in a win over North Forney. Holding them, that's a high-powered offense, held them to just 20 points on the night, a season low for them. A very, very impressive victory for Waxahachie. That is legit. I think that is on par with what they were able to do in the irregular season when they knocked off Duncanville earlier this year. Of course, Duncanville still alive. They will get a very feisty Klein Collins team who was very impressive in their win over the Woodlands. That is Region 2 of 6A Division 1. What about Region 3, where there were two enormous games there. One of them pitting the Fort Bend Ridgepoint Panthers against the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs, a team that has won this region 7 consecutive years. Could Ridgepoint be the team to dethrone the Mustangs and their reign in Region 3? Let's go to the action at Thorne Stadium in Houston, and North Shore would land the first punch. A long drive capped by this 6-yard touchdown run from Hezekiah Jones. It's 7-0 Mustangs, but Ridgepoint looking to answer. They go for it on 4th down here, and it's Brody Bartee lofting it. And watch this tough grab by DJ Darling in traffic. Terrific snag. We're knotted up at 7 in the first quarter. Now, North Shore would have a response. Caleb Maryland, quarterback for North Shore, takes advantage of the busted coverage here. We'll find a wide open Aubrey Johnson for the score. Mustangs would regain the lead, and they would hit the gas from there. This time, going to the air, or going to the ground rather. Hezekiah Jones looks like he's bottled up right in the middle of the pile, but he bursts free, goes 21 yards for the score. North Shore up 21-7, and the defense would put a bow on this one. Ridgepoint looking to pass, throwing, intercepted. It's Tony Guillory who takes it back 33 yards for a house call. North Shore knocks off unbeaten Ridgepoint 31-7. Still the kings of Region 3. They will move on to take on Cy Falls, who knocked off Katy Cinco Ranch in impressive fashion. Keep it on that Cy Falls Ball Club. Very bullish on them. That final score there was 27-30, or rather, it was 46-25 over Cinco Ranch. Houston Strake Jesuit comes back to beat Houston Lamar 50-35 behind a big game from John Hebert, their running back. And the other huge game, Dickinson, Battle of Unbeatens, knocks off Pearland 28-21 in a thriller you could see live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
That one was just so much fun to watch. A huge rain delays happening last night there in Houston, but Dickinson came out and looked, I mean, they were legitimately looking like a team to beat in this region. Obviously, North Shore looming, and the other two teams as well, but if I had to pick the two favorites right now, North Shore and Dickinson, if we could get that in the regional finals, boy, howdy, would we have some fun with that one. All right, to round out the largest classification in Texas high school football, 6A Division I, we head down to Region 4. This one, a classic battle of I-35 between a 5-1-2 Austin area team and the 2-1-0. It is Lake Travis taking on San Antonio Brennan in the third quarter. It's only 3-0 when senior Luke McBride says, all right, time to get some points on the board. He finds Lark Siddle in the fly route right there in the end zone for the 21-yard score to make it 10-0 Cavaliers. Third quarter, later on, it's Lake Travis, but McBride not ready for the snap, and that's when Brennan Mackay Thompson would get a couple of huge blocks here on the scoop and score and take it back to the house, 65 yards for the defensive score for the Bears. Into the fourth quarter, it's 13-7. Lake Travis still on top. Brennan with the ball, and it's Caden Glass. He's going to look downfield, and it's picked off! It is picked off by Tyler Tealford. He seals the win there for Lake Travis as they go on to win it 13-7. As we mentioned, we are still waiting on that Laredo United and Los Fresnos game to finish up unless we just have a breaking final score.
Can I update you from 4 minutes ago? 4 minutes ago, 10:35 p.m. Laredo United through to the regional semifinals. They knock off Los Fresnos 27-20, so Region 4 is now finally set. We can go back to Region 4 and take a look at the way that is going to break down. Lake Travis will take on Los Fresnos we'll take on Laredo United next week at Hero Stadium next Friday night. Meanwhile, Cibolo Steel through. They knock off Weslaco to move on to the regional semifinals. They will get a date with San Antonio Johnson, a thing I'm very bullish on after the win over Hutto.
Yeah, how about that with TP Miller's squad? I mean, a really, really, really big win there. And I watched some of that game, and especially in the first part of it, it looked like Eli Reinhardt's squad, his first year at the helm there for the Hippos, they really came out and was ready to go. But San Antonio Johnson just staying consistent there, especially in the second half, and a huge, huge program win, and now a big 2-1-0 area matchup there to see who's going to push through to the regional finals.
So when you take a look at overall the 6A Division I bracket, this is the way that things break down. There, your final 16 there, you can see some juicy regional semifinal matchups there on Thanksgiving. Excited to see what happens between San Antonio Johnson and Cibolo Steel, as you mentioned, and then Odessa Permian and Allen, a fantastic matchup there in the DFW Metroplex meets the Permian Basin. We are just getting started here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We are taking you bracket by bracket to break down everything that happened in the area round of the 2025 Texas High School Football Playoffs. After the break, 6A Division II action. You don't want to miss this.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Yo, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can go all pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, rolling through the area round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs, down to 176 UIL Texas High School football teams who have punched their ticket to practice on Thanksgiving. To 6A Division 2 we go, into Region 1, where it was a cross-regional matchup. DFW meets the Concho Valley of South Lake Carroll, the undisputed number 1 team in 6A, takes on upstart San Angelo Central. Upset-minded cross-regional matchup at Stephenville, and this one was all Dragons. Quarterback Angelo Renda going to fire to the end zone here, find Brock Boyd for a 31-yard touchdown. The Ohio State commit puts South Lake Carroll up 7-love. Then after trading interceptions, Renda with the push pass to Caden Mackey, who goes 20 yards for the score. It's 14-0 Dragons. Now into the third quarter, Dragons in control. Handoff goes to Luke Jacquemard. He will take it 42 yards to the house. In for the score. Dragons doing a little bit of everything. Some window dressing late here for the Bobcats. Micah Smith going to find Jimmy Edwards for the score, but this one was all Dragons. South Lake Carroll piles up Silas for 729 yards of offense in a 72-7 romp over San Angelo Central. They will draw the Prosper Eagles, who were impressive in their 50-24 win over Richardson Berkner. At the top half of the bracket, Byron Nelson takes down El Paso Eastwood 62-29, and it was Denton Geyer taking out Dallas Jesuit 44-14. But it's hard to imagine that there's going to be many bigger games in the state than South Lake Carroll and Prosper.
Oh my goodness. I was going to say, you take a look at just those 4 teams in that region. Those are 4 pound for pound, some of the best teams in the state. But yeah, Prosper, I mean, that massive offensive line going up against the South Lake Carroll defense, it's been fantastic. Obviously, the Prosper defense going up against that just vaunted South Lake Carroll attack with Angelo Renda. That is just... Woo, that is box office and not fair that we're getting it already in the third round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. All right, that's 6A-D2 Region 1. How about we stay on that side of the bracket but head down to Region 2? It's Willis and Tomball. We get you started in the second quarter. Tomball up 14-10, where Landon Reynolds would take the snap, looking to the far side, and he goes in. Cougars up 21-13. To the third quarter, it's Willis on the ensuing drive. Lincoln Frazier takes the snap and hands it off to Jaden Lane with a jumping catch in the end zone. Celebrations are in order there. Both of those are sophomores. In the fourth quarter, Willis would have the lead, but it's Tomball's Ian Thomas who would punch that one in from 6 yards out. To the fourth quarter, Willis on the 3-yard line, and it's Mr. Do-It-All, Jermaine Bishop, going to keep that one and run it in. Willis would elect to go for the 2. Frazier in the shotgun. He hands it off to Jermaine Bishop, who's in trouble. Can he escape it? Runs all the way back to the 23, finds a man in the end zone for the conversion. And the Willis Wildcats would go on to win that one 34-27. You take a look at how the rest of 6A-D2 Region 2 shapes out. DeSoto with a big, and I mean big, statement win over Longview, 60-28 in absolute dominating fashion. They'll face up against College Park, who took Cy Lakes down 44-11, and then obviously Willis and Forney, more box office material.
Yeah, a ton to break down here. First of all, DeSoto avenges their regional semifinal loss, or regional final loss from a year ago in emphatic fashion. First time Claude Mathis has ever beaten John King. They're impressive there. He will take on the Woodlands College Park, coached by his former offensive coordinator, Kyle Coates. That is a juicy, juicy headline. Meanwhile, Forney survives a scare from Harker Heights. 48-44 was your final, but this game got crazy town banana pants down the stretch, and Forney had to hang on late. after having a huge lead. That 40 Willis game will be a ton of fun. That is 6A Division II, Region 2. We're going to flip over to the other side of the bracket to go to Region 3, Houston area, where there's a massive showdown of teams that were in the Houston area between Sheldon C.E. King and Alvin Shadow Creek. Let's go to the highlights of Shadow Creek taking on C.E. King in 6A Division II, Region 3 action. Here, let's C.E. King's going to start hot. Timothy Potts going to swing it out to Dion Sims. And look at the spin cycle here from the Rice come in. It's a 20-yard highlight reel touchdown, and the Panthers are up early. Still 7-0. C.E. King back again. Potts feels the pressure. Flushed. Keeps his eyes downfield. Looks, fires, finds Darnell Bradley, who will truck a defender to get in for the score. It's 13-0 C.E. King after one. Third quarter, C.E. King up 23-0. But Shadow Creek gets back. Tavis Coleman finds play action, finds Bryce Coleman for the touchdown. Junior to junior cuts the lead 23-7. But C.E. King backed up to its own 4. Hello, Dion Sims, 96 yards. He will outrun everyone to pay dirt. C.E. King, a statement win over Shadow Creek, 51-6. Through to the regional semifinals, where they will draw Katy Jordan, who took down Houston Stratford on Friday night. That final score was 49-29. At the top, Katy knocks off Houston Memorial in a game that was dripping with intrigue as Brooks Hack coached against his former team and his former coach in Gary Joseph, but it was all Katy in that one, 48-7. They will draw Summer Creek, who was impressive in their victory over Manville, 72-35.
19-6A against 23-6A. I mean, it's a story as old as time. Two very intriguing matchups there. All right, that rounds out Region 3. We head now to Region 4, another cross-regional matchup. This one, again, between Austin and San Antonio. It's Vandergrift taking on San Antonio Brandeis. We start off in the first quarter. Second and goal, junior quarterback Winter Smith keeps the ball and goes around to the left sides and walks it in for the first score of the game. They're up 7-0. Into the second quarter, Smith is going... Well, we're going to make sure that we get that touchdown signal there. Smith is going to have it in the pocket and then go, and it's picked off. It is picked off in the hands of sophomore Colt Stevens, who ran it all the way back to the 7-yard line. Vandy took advantage of the turnover and was able to convert with sophomore Evan Williamson. Ran it up the middle to score on the first possession, 13-7. Then in the second quarter, again, junior Zach Cantu, we only show special teams for something. The snap goes over his head, and senior Parker Davis beats him to the ball in for the safety. That's 20-7. Their third quarter, after another lightning delay, weather all over, Vandy wasted no time and gave the ball back in the hands of Evan Williamson, who had a big run up the middle for the 34-7 score. Vandergrift would tack on one more field goal, and they would win it 37-7. They have a date with the San Marcos Rattlers. How about what the Rattlers are doing? They're back this year into the playoffs for the first time in a couple of years, and they are making some noise and looking to take down Vandergrift. And then finally, down there at the bottom, Dripping Springs gets the big win, 52-28 over San Antonio Harlan. They will be going up against Medina Valley, who was able to get a 49-7 win over Harlingen. So very excited to see that cross-regional matchup there, as well as we round out Region 4 of 6A Division 2. We take a look at the bracket as a whole, and I think it's
Here's your
pretty
Sweet 16.
I mean, how in the world do you not get better than South Lake Carroll Prosper, DeSoto College Park?
Yeah,
Willis Forney.
There's some. It's a great week. It's a great week. In Medina Valley, I think Dripping Springs has an opportunity to be really fun. I think both those games. I think Katy Summer Creek is going to be fantastic. 6A Division 2. If you just want to pay attention to one bracket next week, it might just be 6A Division 2. There is huge matchups in every single region. It is a massive area round edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We have got highlights and scores and updated brackets from all across the state. After the break, let's dive into Class 5A because there was some chaos down there, if you stay with us.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Fueling the Future Award, presented by Dutch Bros, honors exceptional teachers across Texas who go above and beyond to energize and inspire their students every day. These educators exemplify passion, dedication, and a commitment to shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Each month, one deserving teacher is recognized with a commemorative award and a $500 donation courtesy of Dutch Bros to support their academic department and further their impactful work in the classroom. To nominate your teacher, visit texasfootball.com/fuelingthefuture.
Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like, fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
Welcome back into Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Tonight, it is basically Christmas here in the Dave Campbell's offices, or Thanksgiving,
I don't know.
the best day
maybe
of the
better
year.
than Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. It's Christmas because it's the Texas High School Football Playoffs. It's the best time of year. Don't forget, TexasFootball.com/playoffs, your go-to home for the playoffs themselves. But let's get right back into it. To 5A Division 1 we go. We take a look at Region 1 in a cross-regional matchup between Abilene and Denton Ryan. In the second quarter, Ryan already holds a 24-0 lead when Quinn Hennigan would dump that one off to Trayvon Reynolds, who would do the rest. 40 yards to pay dirt. Then into the third quarter, Denton Ryan again, Hennigan. This time, he's going to find Jose Melendez, who will stride it out looking for the block, going head first into the end zone here. Look at this. Boom! Not scared of contact. 76 yards. Denton Ryan up 38-0. This one staying in the third, and the domination just continues. But Hennigan's going to show off his arm there. It's Melendez again, who will hit the Jason the Jet Terry pose and make his way into the end zone. Ryan goes on to win that one 59-0. They will have a date with the Royals of Richland, who had a big 70-37 win over El Paso El Dorado. And then on the bottom half there, Aledo having no problem with Amarillo Tascosa. They beat them 42-0, showing off just how skilled that Aledo team is. Arlington Heights on the other side of that, they got a big win, 56-41 over Lubbock Monterey.
Arlington Heights' first ever trip to the regional semifinals. Congratulations to the Yellow Jackets. Unbelievable performance. What a huge, huge win there for Fort Worth ISD. And 3 teams out of District 3 5A Division 1 make it to the regional semifinals in Richland and Ryan, and then Aledo there into the regional semifinals. Will be fun to watch. That is Region 1. Let's go to Region 2. Frisco Lone Star taking on Georgetown. Frisco Lone Star had to go to Georgetown to play this game. Let's go to the highlights. We'll show you what happened here. They lost the flip, had to travel to Birkelbach Field to play there, but they take on a feisty Eagles team for just 77 seconds in. Trey Wright takes the snap, takes it himself, zooms in for a 33-yard score. Lone Stars up 7. Love. Then 13-7 now. Early second quarter, Jet Walker. What a player. He takes the handoff, and zoom, he's gone. They call him Jet. They don't call him slow. 72-yard house call.
That was a good one.
Georgetown's up 14-3. Late now in the third quarter, Lone Stars up 27-14, but Caleb McDougal unleashes to Copeland Madre for a 39 strike. Georgetown won't go away, but Lone Star would not be denied. Carice Hoyt takes the handoff, 37 yards, he's gone. Lone Star wins it 42-21. Remains undefeated, where they will move on to take on West Mesquite. Winners over Midlothian, impressively, with their win 35-6 there at Mesquite Memorial Stadium. On the bottom half of the bracket, Highland Park takes down Frisco Reading on Thursday night at the Star, 45-10. They will draw Frisco Wakeland, who knocked off Cedar Park, 43-36. A big Frisco energy here, but yeah, this is a fun region that you got to. It does feel like right now, if you were to handicap it, Highland Park Lone Star feels like the most likely, but West Mesquite and Wakeland have proven they are not afraid of anybody.
Well, and this is very recency biased, but if you remember the past couple of times that Highland Park has met up with Wakeland, specifically in the area round, they dodged them this time heading into the regional semifinals, but Wakeland's knocked them out of the playoffs the past couple of years that they haven't made it far or into the regional finals. So I'm just saying, maybe there's some bad juju there with Wakeland. All right, that is the left side of the bracket. We head over to the right side. We go to 5A Division 1, Region 3, and it's a District 11 versus District 12 matchup that we all anticipated to be here. It was Port Arthur Memorial taking on A&M Consolidated in the first. A&M Consolidated looking to get on the board here. Junior Amarion Moore would fake the handoff, keep it himself, bustling through the Memorial defense and putting the Tigers on the board from 58 yards out. To the third quarter, Port Arthur Memorial, man in motion, snap is low, so Amonte Martin is forced to pick it up, and guess what? It works! 31-yard touchdown. Port Arthur back up on top 14-7. Port Arthur would score again, but A&M Consolidated refusing to go anywhere. Amarian Moore would wear the cape again, this time from 32 yards out to the fourth quarter, where the Titans would put a nail in the coffin here with running back Desmond Washington taking this one from 37 yards out. Port Arthur Memorial wins 44-27, and Tepper, you said it last night. They are officially being escalated from wagon watch to wagon warning.
Titans are for real. They will draw College Station, who is through to the regional semifinals after knocking out Beaumont United. Pflugerville Weiss, fourth-seeded Pflugerville Weiss into the regional semifinals, where they will take on Barbers Hill in what should be a really fun matchup. And yeah, this is a really fun region here. Weiss is brimming with confidence, but so is College Station after kind of shaking off some early losses. But Port Arthur Memorial, in my opinion, still the team to beat there in Region 3.
I got a very excited text from Mallory Hartley last night that Weiss is continuing on to the next round.
Weiss has got that dog in him, that is absolutely for sure.
That wolf.
Over to Region 4 we go, where it was San Antonio Piper taking on Corpus Christi Flower Bluff in action. Flower Bluff started strong with a 14-0 lead, as here they come running out carrying their flex. But Isaiah Guyton is going to drop back and drop this in the bucket to Cash Lancaster. It's good for 84 yards. Piper's on the board, and we have got a ball game. But how about Lucian Cruz with the moves? What a playmaker he has been for Flower Bluff, shaking defenders out of their shoes. They can't touch him. Cruz's ability to extend plays and gain ground with his legs played a big role in the Hornets' offense. Now check out this deep throw from Piper. They said it could go the distance, but no! Harrison Hawkins says that's mine, snatches for an interception. Flower Bluff possession, and they need it, trailing by 7 rather. Ensuing possession, it's time to feed the beast. Ransom Watkins hurdles a defender, throws a stiff arm. He can't be brought down. The young man gives a first down shimmy to cap off a big play, and it set up this short rushing touchdown from Sam Smith. Flower Bluff ties it at 21 late in the first quarter. This was a shootout all the way, but Piper goes on to knock off Corpus Christi Flower Bluff 42-35. This was a back-and-forth affair between two high-powered offenses, but it was the Warriors who pulled away in the end for a 42-35 victory, knocking out the Hornets of Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. Take a look at Region 4, the way that things break down. It will be Piper taking on a team that they know very, very well there, and Smithson Valley, the reigning 5A Division I state champs. They will draw Bernie Champion, who won a big game against previously unbeaten PSJA North. Bernie Champion through to the regional semifinals, where they will draw the Unicorns of New Braunfels. Still feels like Smithson Valley the team to beat down here, simply because they're the reigning state champs, and to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Absolutely, and that does unfortunately do it for the RGV, as they are out of the 5A Division I Region 4. But the San Antonio area, man, San Antonio and Greater San Antonio, they are showing out. You take a look at 5A Division I as a whole in your eyes. I think everybody's eyes are definitely going to go to that Port Arthur Memorial College Station game, and then obviously I think the rematch of Richland Denton Ryan is one that everybody should keep their eyes on.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and I think that overall there's good balance to this region, or to this bracket, and I think you're going to have a lot of really fun games here in the regional semifinals.
All right, how about we go to 5A Division II as we take a look into Region 1, and it was a cross-regional matchup between the DFW and the out west in Prosper, Walnut Grove, and Lubbock. Cooper's going to get us started here. Ryan Rodriguez is going to keep that one on the quarterback keeper. Pirates up 6-0. To the second quarter, it's Walnut Grove this time, when the Wildcats would extend the lead. An easy handoff there to running back Cam Newton, 15 yards into the end zone. Third quarter, Walnut Grove. This time, it's quarterback Hayes Hackney going to go airborne. That's Hayden Cooley on the jumping catch. How does he celebrate? Well, my guess is more jumping right there. To Lubbock Cooper. Chip Darden's squad was not going to give up. They do end up getting that one in by Tremaine Johnson Jr., but Walnut Grove does end up going on to win 55-13. They will get a date with the Argyle Eagles, who had no problem against Abilene Cooper, winning 77-35 rather. And then finally, up top, how about this? Another district rematch here between Melissa and Anna.
Yeah, I mean, look, we figured that this was going to be the power, the power district there with Walnut Grove, Melissa, and Anna, and then sure enough, 3 of the 4 teams there get into the regional semifinals. But Argyle still holding strong, a very impressive victory there to move on to the regional semifinals. That is the team that I have got my eye on with a big win over Abilene Cooper. Over to Region 2 we go, where one of the games we had our eye on was a rematch of actually a non-district matchup between Midlothian Heritage and Texas High. High, and this one certainly lived up to the billing. Pick it up in the second quarter. Dax Montalongo for Midlothian Heritage. Play action, under pressure. It's going to step up, find Owen Metacucci in for a 35-yard strike. We are knotted up at 7, but the next Tigers possession, it's going to be Cameron Reitner. Calls his own number. It's a 39-yard touchdown scamper. He will get in. Texas High back on front, 14-7. Into the third quarter, Texas High up 24-21, looking to add to it. Tredarian Ball. Oh, goodness, the Oregon commit. 68 yards, what a player. Texas High up 31-21 going to the fourth quarter. Right ball game, right? Heritage ideas. It's a little razzle-dazzle in the hands of Camden Parker in for a 2-yard score. Jags within 3. Now, under 2 minutes left to play. Heritage up 35-31. Reitner, left side, calls his own number. A go-ahead 13-yard score. Will not be denied. 77 seconds left to play. It's over, right? 39 seconds left. Heritage down 3. Play for a field goal? No way. Dax Montalongo escapes pressure. Runs for it. He's in. It's a game-winning 9-yard touchdown run. Heritage wins it. 42-38. They hand Texas High their only 2 losses of the year and knock them out of the playoffs through to the regional semifinals. They will take on Port Neches Groves, who took down Ennis. It was South Oak Cliff keeping it rolling with a big win over Mount Pleasant in a rainy Thursday night affair. They will take on unbeaten Terrell, who knocked off Huntsville 41-14. If you have not heard the good news about the undefeated Terrell Tigers, it is time to pay attention. That is a for-real ball club.
It absolutely is. And you mentioned it, Midlothian Heritage, what a great confidence boost heading into an incredibly tough game against Jeff Joseph's Port Neches Grove squad, because they are absolutely rolling right now. All right, that's the left side of the bracket. We head over to the right side and we take a look at 5A Division II, Region 3. This one, another cross-regional matchup from the Austin area down to the Brazos Valley. We head out to Liberty Hill taking on Brenham. It's the second quarter here. Brenham with the ball, and Upshaw is going to hit Cartel Brown on the post for the 30-yard touchdown. Second quarter again, Liberty Hill this time. The running back, Preston Benefield. Well, actually, we're going to have one more Brennan touchdown right there, actually, because we need to get to that first. And then another Brenham, what looks to be a touchdown. No! Here we go. Liberty Hill is going to scoop and score, running it all the way back down in impressive fashion. But it would not be enough as Brenham goes on to win 27-24, knocking out those Panthers of Liberty Hill. They'll have a date against Iowa Colony, who won 49-7 against Pflugerville.
Thank you.
They were not having a fling at that time. Get
okay.
it? You look for the top portion, though, and how about Richmond Randall? Even with Landon Williams, Callis going down at one point, able to get past Connolly with a 59-28 win. They will be up against Jake Griedel's Bastrop Bears as they take down Waco U with a very nice 69-42 score.
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting matchup simply because we don't know the status of Landon Williams Callis, who left that game early at halftime. They didn't need him in the second half, so I wonder if it was precautionary.
But they'll need him against Bastrop.
They will need him against Bastrop because Bastrop can absolutely score. And then Brenham and Iowa Colony figures to be a lot of fun. Okay, finally, let's round it all out in 5A Division II with Region 4 down there where it was unbeaten Mercedes taking on Alamo Heights. Let's find out what happened when the Mules met the Tigers. First play of the game. It's Robert Sanchez bursts through the middle. It's a 70-yard score. And suddenly, Mercedes has struck first. They're up 7-0. But don't worry. Alamo Heights would have an answer, and it's in the form of DK Garza. How good has this guy been? Seamlessly runs up the right side. It's 65 yards to the house, running away from defenders. It's 21-14 at that point. Alamo Heights on top. Then Garza, second quarter, going to take this direct snap off the right side, cuts through the Mercedes defense, and he's gone. 68 yards later, he would put them up 49-14. We are still in the second quarter, and Alamo Heights is putting it on them. Meanwhile, the MVP of the game, DK Garza, why not just do it again? This time, it's another 50-yard house call, weaving his way in and out of defenders. This was all Alamo Heights in this one. They go on to knock off previously unbeaten Mercedes 55-14. Let's take a look at the way that Region 4 shapes up. Alamo Heights on to take on Victoria West. Those are two from the same district. They will, up at the top, Bernie, you just can't shake them, man. Bernie, a team that for every reason to be down this year, they just keep finding a way, but they will draw a very dangerous Gregory Portland team who just got done hanging 73 on Sharyland. So let's zoom out and take a look at region at 5A Division II as a whole. Some big-time regional semifinal matchups actually picked.
Oh, absolutely. It feels kind of like the power nexus right now in these matchups is definitely up there in Region 1 with Melissa and Anna having their rematch and then Argyle and Walnut Grove. But let me tell you, I am so excited for that rematch between Victoria West and Alamo Heights. We had Coach Ron Ritterman on this show when they beat them and traveled all the way down there to do it. It was a very close game, very high scoring. Victoria West is going to come into that one incredibly hungry.
It's going to be a lot of fun there in 5A Division II. We're rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Reminder, TexasFootball.com/playoffs is where you can get everything for the 2025 Texas High School Football Playoffs. Brackets, matchups, everything you need. After the break, Class 4A. Let's get into it.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Honestly, what connects everyone is the light of this campus, what this community means to this place, what it has been. Now we're the newest school in Pflugerville. I believe it's 7 to 8 years old. But in all honesty, this is the place to be.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, your Friday night after party. On a Saturday night, we're working overtime for you, the viewer, consumer, because you love Texas high school football, and so do we. One of the games we had our eye on, 4A Division I, Region 1. Stephenville taking on upset-minded Dumas. Could the Demons pull off the stunner? To Vernon we go, and it's the Demons who would strike first. Parker Dunham's going to swing out to Jorge Murga, and he will get the sideline, and it's a 77-yard thunderbolt, and Dumas is ready to pull the stunner. Not so much. Yellow Jackets with the ball. Zyler McClendon up the middle, breaking free, 23-yard score is tied at 7. Then after a defensive stop, Stephenville quarterback Trot Jordan, play action, fires. Brighton DeVivo makes a couple men miss, in for the score. They're in front. It's 27-7 at the half. Third quarter, Jackets in command. Now it's Carter Van Zandt, the sophomore, gets in on the action, a 20-yard touchdown run. Stephenville rolls into Thanksgiving, still unbeaten, 55-7 over Dumas. Let's take a look at the way Region 1 shakes out in 4A Division 1. How about Canyon ISD?
My goodness.
Three Canyon ISD teams. Canyon High taking on West Plains in a regional semifinal. There might be 20,000 people at that game. Then at the bottom half is Canyon Randall taking on Stephenville in a really fun region. But the headline here is how remarkable for Canyon ISD to have 3 teams into the regional semifinals.
It's a shame they've got to all play each other now.
Yeah.
They keep knocking each other out.
Exactly right. Only one can win. Absolutely.
All right, we head down to Region 2 now, and it was the Springtown Porcupines taking on the Frisco Panther Creek Panthers. We go to the highlights in the first quarter. Panther Creek at the 4-yard line when Graylin Fry would find Jalen Lott. Look at that catch. We're going to show you this again. This is insane. The one-arm extension. This is why he's one of the best in Texas high school football. My goodness, Jalen Lott. To the second quarter, Springtown looking to answer. Handoff to Kane Hill to senior running back John Anthony, who will get the block and take it in from 45 yards out to the third wall, tied up at 21. Hill pitches it to Christian Mendoza, who shows what I'm going to look like next week when my mom takes that green bean casserole out of the oven. Straight down, full speed, running 88 yards. Porcupines back up 28-21. Panther Creek back on offense, but it wouldn't be enough. And Springtown pulls the incredible upset, knocking off an insanely talented Panther Creek squad 49-41 to advance to the regional semifinals. Their date will be against the Alvarado Indians, who beat Sulphur Springs 51-43. On the bottom half, they're the reigning state champs, the Salina Bobcats. Took down Eastern Hills 70-22 with no problem. And then how about that? Decatur, the Eagles, a big 49-21 win over a very scrappy Paris squad. This is a fun region.
If you like points, this is the region for you. Everyone here can score. Absolutely. And I think you've got the defending state champs for Division I, Salina, taking on a tough Decatur team. And then that Springtown Alvarado game figures to be a fireworks factory. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's now move on to Region 3 across the bracket, where it was a cross-regional matchup. Longview Pine Tree taking on a surprising Houston Yates Ball Club. Let's see what's happened down there. The best of Houston ISD. Starting off with the first touchdown of the game, Lions quarterback Chris Brown throws the ball to Edward Chenal. He gets in and dives into the end zone, brings the score to 7-0. Then it's going to be Chris Brown again. What can Brown do for you? Run straight into the end zone. They're up 14-0. Lions looking good. Then it's Brown again. This time right in on the off the right side, in for a score. It's 21-0. Pirates would come back 21-7. This is a nice touchdown pass right before half. Pine Tree rallies in the second half to knock off Houston Yates 35-27. Let's take a look at the way that things break down. Longview Pine Tree will take on, how about Fort Bend Crawford, knocking off Lindale in impressive fashion 35-28 in one of the must-see games of the weekend. Bridge City through to the regional semifinals after their win this week over Navasota 35-27. They will draw the reigning state finalists from a year ago, Kilgore, who knock out Stafford with a 42-0 victory. The Rage in Red certainly looking very good.
They absolutely are looking like the team to beat out of that region. All right, that's Region 3. We head down now to Region 4 of 4A Division 1. And San Antonio Davenport, the Wolves, were taking on the Sand Crabs of Port Lavaca Calhoun. We get started in the second quarter where we're all tied up at 7 when senior Holton Hadley would take the snap out of the Wildcat and go in for the 4-yard rushing touchdown. Sand Crabs up 14-7. Davenport looking to answer when sophomore quarterback Tristan Torres would hit wide receiver Zayden Garza for the 17-yard touchdown. We're tied back up at 14 to the third, where Port Lavaca would take that down, and it's Isaiah Cabrelas who would take the snap out of the Wildcat, keep it himself, and go all the stinking way for 66 yards. Then into the fourth quarter, Davenport only up 3 when Barrett Fallon would seal the deal with this 30-yard rushing touchdown. Too bad the Sand Crabs are going home, but the San Antonio Davenport Wolves will go on as they won 38-28, and they have a date with Bay City, who took down Austin LBJ. My regional pick, 34-19. On the bottom half of Region 4, Lavernia with a massive 51-33 win over Somerset. They will go up against the Wildcats of Cal Allen, who beat Canyon Lake 42-14.
Let's not forget Lavernia was a team that won the region a year ago.
Yeah.
Let's put some respect on them, but I think San Antonio Davenport has looked very good. Bay City, you mentioned it, a very impressive victory over at Austin LBJ 34-19, kind of beating them at their own defensive game. Let's zoom out to the whole 4A Division 1 bracket. You see the Sweet 16 here, and what a star-studded group there is. Obviously, obviously there's storylines in every region, and I think that you've got a couple of regions where it's easy to point for a couple favorites. I think Stephenville looks like a favorite in Region 1. Maybe it's Salina in Region 2. I mean, the number one team, the team that started the year number 1, have looked fantastic, still undefeated. But I think there are some real upset potential here in 4A Division 1 heading into the regional semifinal round.
Yeah, I feel like Region 1 is the most wide open region possibly out of almost any of the brackets. Any of those teams could win. We are sure in for a lot of fun.
Okay, let's move on to 4A Division 2. We're going to go to Region 1 where there was a big game between... I'm sorry. First of all, let's tell you about the Ford Player of the Week. Go to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com to check out everything that we've celebrated over the 20th anniversary of the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week show. Go to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com. Check out and celebrate the weekly winners that we had at FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com. Of course, leading up to the banquet coming up in January, we will honor the Built Ford Tough Players of the Year in every classification. Make sure you go to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com to relive all the action. On to 4A Division 2 we go, where Glen Rose, a team that is no stranger to making deep playoff runs, was running into a very dangerous Seminole squad in Region 1 action. To the Mustang Bowl in Sweetwater we go. Picked up late first quarters, tied at 7. Glen Rose's sophomore quarterback, Judd Conley, play action, find Caden Mars the post for the touchdowns 14-7 after 1. But Seminole's offense would get into gear. The handoff goes to freshman phenom Landon Guerra, making everyone miss. Goes 79 yards to the house, just a freshman. The Indians knot this game up at 14 apiece. Look at him go as he goes 79 whopping yards against this defense. Now into the fourth quarter. Seminole up 32-27, looking to salt this one away. This time, the handoff will go on to the senior, Caden Kramer, who will take it a 24-yard touchdown run, his third of the game. Seminole wins this one 39-27. Take a look at the way that 4A Division 1 or 2 Region 1 shakes out. Seminole will draw Brock, still unbeaten, looking awfully good. They are through to the regional semifinals after a big win over Lubbock Estacado. Meanwhile, how about the Graham Steers? Get a win over Lubbock Liberty 35-28. They're through to the regional semifinals where they will draw the Midland Greenwood Rangers, still unbeaten 58-13 winners over Eagle Mountain.
You're still puffing your chest about that pick, huh?
Look, I've been talking since the preseason about Midland Greenwood.
They are not bad at all. All right, we head to 4A Division 2 Region 2, where you will find Van and Sunnyvale squaring off in an area round matchup with the Van Vandals. They traveled up to Sulphur Springs for their matchup with the Sunnyvale Raiders. Van following up their first round win in overtime versus Center. Van gets the ball first and forced to punt. Sunnyvale jumping ahead on this quarterback keeper from Kaysen Malpin. Van strikes right back after their first drive stalled. Quarterback Raleigh Hitch trying to extend the play before he finds his man Connor Armans wide open in the middle of the field, sprinting for the end zone, and the touchdown. Teams trade touchdowns, and Van trying to keep pace going on 4th and 6, but they are unable to convert right here. Momentum now swinging with Sunnyvale. The Raiders, though, they would go on to capitalize, getting a touchdown and forcing a punt. Then on their own 4th down, Grayson Smith takes the carry and looks like he's down, but somehow breaks free for a 32-yard touchdown. Van down 14 going into the half with Sunnyvale getting the ball to start on the 3rd, but Sunnyvale in an absolute thriller would go on to win it 56-28. Sunnyvale will continue on to the regional semifinals as we take a look here in Region 2. They will have a date with Athens, who took down Crum 48-42. Then in the bottom half of the bracket there, you've got Pleasant Grove with a big 48-7 win over Canton, and the Machine of Carthage just keeps rolling with a 62-35 win over Sanger.
That Athens-Crum game was nuts.
Yeah,
48-42 in overtime. Athens wins on a walk-off touchdown in overtime in a game that went back and forth. A crazy affair. You can check out Matt Sepp's instant reaction on TexasFootball.com about that one. And look, it's a game we've all been waiting for. Preseason 1 Carthage, preseason 2 Pleasant Grove, finally square off here on Thanksgiving weekend. It will be fantastic. Let's now go to Region 3, across the bracket, to where a matchup of a Central Texas power in Robinson taking on a storied program from the Golden Triangle. We're scoreless in the second quarter, but those tricky Mustangs! Double pass! Michael Turner fires a dart to Antarian Fontenot, and West Orange Shark is up early. Now into the fourth quarter, West Orange Shark 21-14. Watch this run from Kelvy Jefferson. Goodness gracious, the junior running back. Remember that name. He will not be denied as a dazzling 29-yard touchdown run. Mustangs up 28-14. Robinson looking to answer. Bryce McCurdy, what a playmaker he's been this year. Loads up, fires deep. Dylan Medlock on the other end of it. It's a 47-yard touchdown strike. That's as close as they would get. West Orange Stark through to the regional semifinals with a 35-21 win over Robinson. They will get the Tigers of Sealy, who are through to the regional semifinals after a win over West Columbia, 54-7. Lamarck takes down China Spring in a thriller, 34-27. La Vega had a weird game with Silsbee that was like 7-7 into the third quarter, but pulled away for a 30-14 win. They, of course, were the reigning state finals from a year ago. That Lamarck-La Vega game, you want to talk about like two storied programs going on. This actually, look at this region. From a pedigree perspective, this is hard to beat historically. If you're a Texas high school football nerd, like historically, you will love this region. A ton of big-time programs with state championship pedigree.
Yeah, you mentioned it. La Vega played with their food a little bit, turned it on in the fourth quarter, and were able to get it done, but they're not going to be able to do that against a team like Lamarck. Excited to see how that one goes. How about we head to Region 4 now, and it was the Sinton Pirates taking on the Jarrell Cougars. Sinton up 14-0 in the first when Jarrell goes for it on 4th and 1, giving it to freshman Brayton Henderson, who will bust through the line for 50 yards to give the Cougars their first score. Second quarter, Quincy Bees will take the snap, pitch it over to superstar running back Micah Green, who will make it look easy. Nice little stiff arm there and an easy stride in for 6. That puts the Pirates up 21-7. Later in the second, Gerald a punt on 4th and 4, but it's a fake! It's a fake! Kenneth Johnson would find the far sideline and take it to the house on an 85-yard special team touchdown for the big dog to cut the lead down 21-14. Sinton would go on to add a couple more scores, but get a look at this one from Marcos Zapata Jr., who will show just how deep the rushing attack is for the Sinton squad. You know Michael Troutman was pumped up after that one. Sinton goes on to win it 52-21. They now have a date with the Texans of Wimberley. They got a big 45-20 win over Robstown. And then how about this juicy one up top? Cuero able to pull one out against Gonzales 35-14. Let me tell you, that score is not indicative of how close that game was for a long time. And then Rockport Fulton having no problem with a very good Salado team, 56-28. You like hard-hitting, running the ball football? There, here you go. Here's 4A Division II Region 4.
Yeah, this is going to be a ton of fun. And look, the slot tees, the Devil, Rockport Fulton runs that. That's going to be a really fun matchup between Rockport Fulton and Cuero. Sinton is a machine, but let's not forget the team of record in this region. It is the Wimberley Texans.
Yeah.
Put some respect on their name. They have been very, very dangerous. Take a look overall at 4A Division II. The way that here's your Sweet 16, and there is star power. Obviously, look, Pleasant Grove and Carthage is the box office attraction here, but I think there's a ton. I think there's games in every single region that if you have the means to get to this games, there are big-time holiday weekend action across the state.
This is the bracket of just big dogs that like to just beat each other up. And then there's Region 1, which is just going to score on you like crazy.
Yeah.
But the other three regions, man, those are some big boys just absolutely knocking skulls.
This is going to be a ton of fun. 4A Division II is getting to the good stuff. We're getting to the good stuff here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Make sure you go to texasfootball.com/playoffs for everything you need for the 2025 Texas High School Football Playoffs. We're going to take another quick break. After the break, Class 3A action.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like, fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road. From up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Yeah.
Your Friday night party on a Saturday. They made us come into work today.
I can't believe I have to go all the way to work on a Saturday.
Crazy. I'm Greg, that's Ashley. We are taking you through all of the brackets in the area round matchups of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. To 3A Division I we go. Let's take a look at the way that 3A Division I Region 1 broke down and the way and the action that came down there. It was the Peaster Greyhounds in a game that I was really excited about, taking down Shallow Water in impressive fashion. That is a Peaster team that I have got my eye on. They will draw the Lions of Vernon, who are through to the regional semifinals after their 41-16 win over Denver City. Tuscola Jim Ned survives a scare from Bushland, 24-20. They will draw the Panthers of Paradise, who ended a dream season for Dalhart, 24-0. If you like hard-hitting defense, this is the region for you.
Yeah, Jim Ned barely able to score. I mean, we were sweating on that one. We didn't know if they were going to be able to pull that one off against Bushland, but they were able to. But yeah, defense is the name of the game when it comes into Region 1. Incredibly excited to watch that Jim Ned and Paradise game. I think that one is box office stuff. All right, looking at 3A Division 1 Region 2, we head out to Commerce taking on Pilot Point. We get started here in the first quarter, and it's Pilot Point who would answer with a big-time rushing touchdown from Caden David to tie us up at 7. In the first quarter, again, Commerce looking to respond. Aiden Brown hits Donovan Maria as he makes one-man miss, two-man miss, looking like he's going to come down here with 3 defenders off him, but he finds a way to get out of it and into the end zone, 65 yards, and we're all tied up at 14. Clearly, there was some offensive fun happening, including this run by Kaimani Graham from the 35-yard line. He puts on the brakes. Whoop! See you later. Spin move into the end zone. Commerce takes the lead, and they would go on to win it 54-47. They will have a thrilling regional semifinal matchup against the Zebras of Grandview. The Zebras had a big win, 55-42 over Gladewater. That one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then on the top portion of that, my Whitney Wildcats. They've done it again.
It's coming to a head, though, because they're taking on my Pottsboro Cardinals, the team I picked to win the region.
Okay,
so,
the Texas Football Tonight battle of 3A Division I, the Whitney Wildcats against the Pottsboro Cardinals.
I'll say this, though, and I think we both mean this sincerely. I think any of those 4 teams can win that region.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No,
that feels like
open.
a region without a favorite. That feels like a region that is wide open, that anybody can win. I know when we were doing our preseason or our pre-playoff picks, that was a region that I was like, throw a dart at.
I think we had 5 different picks.
Yeah.
Like, I literally think every single person who picked beforehand picked different ones, and
okay. Yeah, me too.
I was waiting for your hair flip.
Okay, well, I'll try. Unfortunately, I got my hair cut on Thursday. Okay. Let's go to Region 3. Region 3, one of the games we were most looking forward to, unbeaten Fairfield taking on the Bulldogs of Yoakum. And this was a thriller. From the most anticipated games of the weekend, and from the word go, it was the Jamarcus Robinson show. 78 yards to pay dirt. What a playmaker the freshman is. The freshman. Yoakum is up early, but Fairfield isn't unbeaten for no reason. It's Cole Collins scanning, finding, layering a pretty pass to Dylan Davis. He had 6 catches, 169 yards, and a touchdown. It is 14-7. Now it's 21-20 after a Fairfield score. Extra point pending, right? But watch, it's a fake. They find Caden McCrory for the surprise 2-pointer, and Fairfield leads. But I mentioned Jamarcus Robinson. He takes the handoff and goes 96 yards off to the races. He had 24 carries, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yoakum holds up a late rally from Fairfield and wins it 36-29. They will take on unbeaten Hardin. That's right, unbeaten Hardin. Have you heard the good news? They knock off Hitchcock 16-9. Down to the bottom half, what a tasty matchup of teams that have won state championships very recently. Franklin, Columbus. It is going to be a showdown there between those 2 ball clubs.
I mean, water's still wet, and Region 3 just still seems to be the power in excess of 3A Division 1. This is just one of the hardest regions, pound for pound, at any Texas high school football playoff bracket, and I'm very excited to watch that one. How about we head down now to the other side of the right side of the bracket, and that would be 3A Division 1 Region 4. It was Crystal City, the Javelinas, taking on Goliad. We start in the first quarter. The Goliad Tigers will get us started with senior running back Donovan Perry, who finds a hole up the seam for 23 yards. Out later in the first, it's Goliad again, and it's Donovan Perry again with a masterclass performance, getting to that far side of the sideline from 40 yards out. PAT is good. Tigers up 14-7. After a turnover on downs for the Javelinas, Goliad would take over on the 11-yard line when Lamont Franklin would take over and do what he does best. 89 yards for the score, reminding them that this team can run all over you. Skipping the third, it's 35-14 Goliad at this point, and guess what? Donovan Perry, oh my goodness, he could not be stopped. Goliad, the Tigers, go on to win it 49-28 as they have a regional semifinal pairing against the Fightin' Llano Yellow Jackets, who had a massive 53-12 win over Corpus Christi London.
Yeah, a small correction here. Ingram Moore beat Orange Grove. That was a real surprising result there. That was 37-21. Ingram Moore won that. That is one of the more remarkable stories. We've talked about it. Ingram was really ground zero for the Floods in the Hill Country. They are now through to the regional semifinals for the second or third round of the playoffs for just the second time in program history. How remarkable is that? As Ingram Moore is through, they will take on Edna, long-standing power there in Region 4. That figures to be a lot of fun. And so 3A Division 1, a fireworks factory, we expected no less, is going to be a ton of fun there in 3A Division 1. Okay, let's go from 3A Division 1 to 3A Division 2, up to Region 1, where the undefeated Wall Hawks were taking on the Childress Bobcats. Let's check out what happened in Region 1 of 3A Division 2 action. Go here as the Wall Hawks already up 20-0 in the second quarter. Hagen Barbie is going to take this one off the left side for a 33-yard score, extend this one to 27 to 37-0. Is kind of tilts head there, 27-0. Then Jacob Braden, Wall's going to keep this thing going. Jacob Braden's going to power through defenders, will not be denied, makes it 33-0. Wall an absolute wagon. We're going to the third quarter now, and quarterback Landon York, what a playmaker he has been all season long. He's going to pass the ball to Evan Boley here for the score. That's 6 more. It's 40-0 at that point. Then more from York. This time, he's going to show you he's got some wheels. Take it, fake it, take it himself. He will go 85 yards to the house. They were up 47-0 at that point. They go on to tack on a field goal for funsies. They win this by the very clean and aesthetically pleasing 50-0 over a good Childress ball club. They will go on to take on Slayton, who came back and scored late to knock off upstart Merkel. They are through to the regional semifinals. Slayton and Wall is one of your regional semifinals, as is Canadian. Remember them? They're through the regional semifinals.
They're doing that thing where they get really good in the playoffs again.
Canadian knocked off Kahoma 56-27. They will take on Idalou, who knocked off San Angelo Grape Creek after an unbelievable season for Grape Creek. But Idalou through to the regional semifinals to take on Canadian. A real who's who here out there in Region 1.
Absolutely. So there's Region 1. We head now to 3A Division 2, Region 2, as Holiday was taking on Leonard. We go to the action and start off in the first quarter, and it's Landon Jones who is going to connect with Brady Jones. Gets the block that he needs right there, and it is a 49-yard touchdown. You can tell the fans are pumped about that one. Holiday Strike's first score is 6-0. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead now to the third quarter. Jacoby LeCook is going to rear one back and go deep, finding Zaylen Summers wide open. And he's going to turn on the Jets, psych a guy out, and go 65 yards for the touchdown. Holiday eager to close the gap. Landon Jones, again, all the way from the other end zone, is going to rear back and find Jaden Whitley, who catches the ball and goes in for the 91-yard touchdown. The score now 36-22. Leonard makes the kickoff right here down to the 18-yard line, and Holiday with a chance to make some noise. It's Brady Jones who picks it up. He spins off that tackle, continues upfield. Can he do it? He's going to go out of bounds at the 28, but Holiday is unable to keep up with it. Leonard would go on to win it. The final score, 41-34. They have a date with Blue Ridge, who took down Jacksboro 48-41. Then, like we mentioned, a name that we're used to seeing here, Gunner, able to take down Wichita Falls City View 48-14. They have a date with Henrietta, who beat Callisburg 48-21.
You know, one of the things that when we talk about Gunner and how they're dominant within their own district in District 7 3A Division 2, there are 3 teams from 7 3A Division 2 here. Leonard, Blue Ridge, and Gunner all through the regional semifinals. The only party crasher here is Henrietta, who knocked off the other District 7 team in Callisburg there to make it to the regional semifinals. Okay, let's take a look now over at Region 3. Let's manipulate over our way to the other side of the bracket. Take a look at 6A Division 2, 3A Division 2, Region 3. Edgewood knocks off the reigning state finalists from a year ago, Woodville, with an impressive victory. They are through to the regional semifinals. They will take on ARP, who upset Dangerfield in overtime, 29-28. Keep an eye on those Tigers. They're getting hot at the right time. And then you want to talk about a box office attraction. Troop through the regional semifinals with a big win over Hooks. They will get Newton in what can only be described as, in my opinion, the biggest game of 3A Division 2 next week.
I would agree with that. We go on now to 3A Division 2, Region 4, as we round this one out. We've got Blanco, who took down Cotulla 56-0. The Panthers are absolutely rolling. Then how about David Lucio and his Tidehaven? They go 40-22 over Stockdale. You head down there, and the Brahmas of East Bernard take down Poth 30-27-1. I know you're itching to talk about. And Lexington, no problem over George West, 29-0. East Bernard and Poth was a banger of a game.
A couple things here. Tidehaven kind of was down to Stockdale and had to come back and rally to win that. For kind of the first time we've seen them bleed this year, taking on they will take on Blanco. But you got to see the end of this East Bernard game. Okay, so Poth is up. Let's roll the clip. Poth was up in this ball game early. Late in this game. There's about a minute left. Okay, Poth has scored to take the lead. They're kicking off to East Bernard. Watch the razzle dazzle kickoff return here, as they're going to run the option play and get down the sideline for what ends up being a game-winning touchdown. One of the plays of the year, East Bernard, one of the special teams plays of the year, certainly, as the Brahmas through the regional semifinals there in incredible fashion. I got a text message last night from Craig Way who said, hey, man, I think East Bernard just won on a Music City Miracle.
Incredible.
That's about as close as it comes. They're an unbelievable special teams play as East Bernard stuns Poth and to move on to the regional semifinals.
I just love the crowd shot there. The everybody arms raised. You could just tell all the smiles. It's the beauty of the Texas high school football playoffs. All right, we go back to look at 3A Division 2 kind of as a whole here. Obviously, there tends to be those favorites we always feel like on the left side of the bracket, although between Wall and Canadian at this point, I don't know if you could tell me which one could win. Yeah. And then, Troop and Newton. I think that is absolutely the marquee matchup in this division.
I think there's a couple big matchups. You mentioned Troop and Newton. That is must-see TV. That's going to be fantastic. Blanco and Tidehaven, I think, as well. I think right there. Lexington got a big win over George West. I think the Case Evans has been fantastic, but their defense really stepped up in a big way as well. So 3A Division 2 is really starting to get to the good stuff here as we get into the regional semifinals. We're getting to the good stuff, too, on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We are rolling Class 2A action. That's right. It's the smallest 11-man classification if you stay with us.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance, unwavering dedication to their teams, and a commitment to their communities. To nominate your student athlete, scan the QR code on screen or visit texasfootball.com/athlete of the month. With support from Dick's Sporting Goods, we are proud to honor these young leaders who inspire their peers and represent the best of Texas high school sports.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
It's a Saturday night party here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Ashley Pickle, Greg Tepper, the whole crew of people that bring this show to life behind the scenes. We appreciate their help, and we hope that you do too. All right, now on to more playoff action. We're hitting 2A Division 1, and we start in Region 1. It was New Home taking on Stanford, and the first quarter, it's Miles Folis. He rolls right and throws to Marshawn Alvaroyd, who makes the touchdown. Stanford strikes first. Second quarter, Folis is going to be in the shotgun, and he's going to throw this one deep, outrunning trouble as he finally gets it off, and it's Alex Hernandez in the end zone for the touchdown. Stanford now up 20-0. The New Home Leopards finally getting some points on the board here. It's Brayson Beck who drops back, and he's going to find Parker Lyles, son of Stephen Lyles, in the end zone. The score is 20-6. Beck in the fourth gives it to Ryder Starkley, and he runs this one in for a touchdown. New Home closes the gap. The score is 20-20. New Home would make the PAT to win an absolute thriller, 21-20, as they advance there to take on West Texas, who took down Hawley 30-26. How about those two incredible area round matchups?
Yeah, let me tell you something. It's time to buy some stock in that West Texas Comanches. They are for real. I'm a big fan of Caden Winter. Cade Winter's their quarterback. He's been fantastic. That'll be a fun second-round matchup there. And then how about Spearman knocking off Anson through to the regional semifinals? They will take on Cisco, who knocked out
Lobos.
Panhandle. The Big Damn Lobos get the win. Impressive fashion there with that final score was 21-20, edging them. A ton of really close. We had 3 one-point games. Those 4 area-round games were decided by a combined 7 points.
Insane. Shout out to Greg Powers, too. Cisco, the Big Damn Lobos were his regional pick. Now, there's a lot of stuff to get through before then, but shout out Powers on that one.
Absolutely. Okay, let's take a look at Region 2. Take a look at the way that Region 2 broke down. This is one of the wildest regions in the state. Hamilton, the reigning regional champ, they get a win over Corsicana Mildred to move on to the regional semifinals. They will take on Price Carlisle, who knocked off Alvord 41-23. How about Axtell? My pick, knocked off Tom Bean in impressive fashion. That defense is for real, 41-7. And there's your shocker, DeLeon. Absolutely drums previously unbeaten Frankston 74-46, breaking brackets all over the state. That's a huge win for the Bearcats of DeLeon. And now you've got good on good. That DeLeon offense against that Axtell defense is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and how fun is this one, too? Because these are a lot of teams that we don't hear of year after year. Tom Beeman with an incredible year. Frankston with an incredible year. This region has been a lot of fun. All right, we go to the other side of the bracket now, 2A Division I, Region 3. And it was Honey Grove taking on Joaquin. We start off here in the first quarter, and it's Joaquin. The Rams would get the scoring fest started with this 59-yard run by Cooper Bragg, who put them up 7-0 just halfway through the first. That Ram helmet ramming his way into the end zone. 5:14 left in the first half. Joaquin on the 45 when Jacko Gatlin would show off his speed, weaving between Honey Grove defenders to go up 21-0. We skip to the fourth quarter. It's Joaquin continue to put the pedal to the metal and showing just how hard it is to defend the devil that is the slot T. Cooper Bragg, 67 yards, and Joaquin would go on to win it 41-8. They will have a date with Carter Yates's pick, Elijah Fields. The Yellow Jackets get a 1-point win over Garrison, 55-54 in a thriller. And then rounding out Region 3, St. Augustine with a 36-24 win over Wascom. They will be taking on Beckville, another 1-point game. They beat Jewett-Leon 21-20. Something about 1-point games in 2A Division I just seem to pair well together this year.
Yeah, St. Augustine through to the regional. I mean, it's come to a point now. Remember, Joaquin was the surprise winner of Region 3 last year. Guys, Joaquin's just good. The slot T's the devil. They get into the playoffs, and they're just a dangerous ball club. Keep an eye on Joaquin. Okay, down to Region 4, where the number 1 team in the state, the Refugio Bobcats, messed around a little bit last week and played a closer game than maybe we thought they would. What would happen in the area round, taking on a dangerous Rosebud Lot squad? Upset-minded Rosebud Lot, and the Cougars were not afraid of the number 1 team in the state. Price Rebroker is going to drop this dime there. Daniel Rincon, and Rosebud Lot leads. Refugio's got an answer. Ray Lewis going to fire a tunnel screen to Leighton Garza. He will do the rest. 33 yards later, we are knotted up at 7. Refugio's got that danger in them. Meanwhile, more from Refugio. Lewis takes a snap. It's a busted play, but he's like, well, okay. What if I just bust the defense instead? 34-yard touchdown run. Refugio takes their first lead of the game. The Cougars would answer, though. It worked first time. Why not go for it again? Rebroker to Rincon. Behind the defense, a 65-yard strike. Game was close throughout, but Refugio pulled away late for a 42-21 win. Let's take a look at the way it breaks down. Refugio and Ganado, Refugio and Ganado, Refugio and Ganado.
It just keeps happening.
That's the game here. That's the game you want to keep an eye on. Ganado took down Thorndale 35-14. Reigning state champs against the number 1 team in the state. This is the game we've had circled all year. It's next week. It's going to be great. Mason, the Punchers, through the regional semifinal with a 55-14 win over Schulenburg. They will draw Kennedy. The Lions of Kennedy, 10 wins in a season for the first time since the 70s. They knock off Crawford in impressive fashion, 19-7. But this is a who's who in Region 4. So you zoom out there overall, and I mean, look, if you're not into this, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
There's big time action in every single region. Ganado Refugio is going to be the game of the week in my opinion, but I think West Texas New Home is going to be fantastic. I love Axel Dillon. This is a terrific bracket.
It absolutely is. All right, we go now from 2A Division 1 to 2A Division 2. We start off in Region 1, and it was Wink taking on Groover. We start off in the first quarter. Groover already had a 7-0 lead. They would tack on another 6 here as Briggs Satterfield hits Mason Langford in the breadbasket. Greyhounds up 14-0. Second quarter now, Groover back on offense. Satterfield trying to grab a first down on the quarterback keeper. It looked dead, but it wasn't. He makes it 52 yards. All they were trying to get was 1. That works. Groover, Satterfield looking downfield. It's Langford again for his second touchdown of the night. And then in the fourth quarter, Wink would end up getting on the board late, but it was just too much. Groover wins it 47-14. Satterfield had 7 touchdowns on the night, 2 passing and 5 on the ground. Keep an eye out for the Greyhounds. They will go take on Ropes, who had no problem in a 67-0 win over Farwell. And then on the top portion there, Stratford, a big 35-0 win over Tahoka, and Bovina.
Break up Bovina.
They just keep winning.
Somebody break up the Mustangs of Bovina.
24-16, they take down Seagraves.
That's a 4th place Bovina team, guys. That's a Bovina team that entered the playoffs at 3-5.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah.
The playoffs at 3-5, and now they are 5-5 and practicing on Thanksgiving.
Get good.
Break up the Mustangs of Bovina. Coach Wade Wilson doing unbelievable work there in his first year. Okay, over to Region 2, where one of the games we had our eye on was good on good. The Collinsville offense against the Wheeler defense. What would win out in this action? Let's go to the highlights there. Wheeler and Collinsville, but it was the Collinsville offense that would fire up early. Paxton Davidson, he's going to load up and fire deep to Chad Davidson on the other end. It's a 65-yard hookup. Collinsville is up 14-0. Now 21-0, but Wheeler would respond. Creed Newkirk going to find Abraham Segala for the score, but too much from Collinsville. They win it 28-6. Take a look at the way Region 2 breaks out. Collinsville through to the regional semifinals. They will take on Lindsay, who knocks off Windthorst impressively, very impressively. I love this. I love this Lindsay team. I saw them in person. I think they've got a ton going on. But remember, they will at the bottom. You've got Albany, who knocked off Quanah. They will draw Munster. The reigning state champs. That's box office. 3 teams from District 8. Collinsville, Lindsay, and Munster, all from District 8 through to the regional semifinals.
I have my popcorn ready for Albany and Munster.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I have had that one circled, and I am very excited to watch that one.
Going to be good stuff. Okay, let's now take a look at Region 3. And I want to warn you before we start this highlight. It's Chilton Mountain Enterprise, and I want to warn you. I think the first play here is one of the wildest plays you will ever see. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let's go to the highlight. This is the opening kickoff of Chilton and Mount Enterprise, okay? Opening kickoff. Jamarian Clark's going to field it on a hop for Chilton. He's got a seam. He could go, but wait, he's going to be stripped, and it's Giovanni Rubio the other way. It's a 34-yard kickoff return followed by a 66-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and improbably Mount Enterprise leads. And from there, it's the Kagan Ash show. Direct snap to the Texas Tech commit. He gets the edge, 61 yards. He hits pay dirt. He ran for 165 and 4 touchdowns. Mount Enterprise in full command. Third quarter, Chilton gets something positive here with a Nathan Woodpecker touchdown, but it's all Mount Enterprise in this one. 58-30 into the regional semifinals. They will draw Overton. 4th place Overton, who knocked off West Sabine. They're through to the regional semifinals. Speaking of 4th place Mart is through to the regional semifinals. They knock off Lovelady. They will get a rematch with Bremont. And yeah, this is the good stuff, folks. And you want to talk about District 10 and District 11. You got 2 rematches here. You've got Overton and Mount Enterprise Then taking on, going up against District 11 rematch, Mart and Bremond is a District 10 rematch. So there's your power nexus, folks.
Absolutely. And how about that? 3 different fourth place teams all in one bracket. All right, that's Region 3. How about we go to 2A Division 2 Region 4? It's a battle of big cats as the Granger Lions take on the Yorktown Wildcats. In the first quarter, Yorktown already found a touchdown, but Granger answers with Caleb Hortbrach unleashing the jet fuel and sprinting into the end zone from 48 yards out. Second quarter now, Granger back on offense. This time it's Wyatt Roshner finding Caleb Tucker in the corner snag for his first score. Before the second half, Roshner would fake the handoff and keep it himself, going 56 yards up the middle and untouched for the score. Fourth quarter, it's Yorktown. They would get another score late in the fourth from senior receiver Matthew Olgowin, but it would be too late. Granger would go on to win it 62-30. They will take on a very impressive Junction team right now. 42,
undefeated Junction team.
Shout out Luke Williams. Undefeated 42-13 win over Falls City. And then finally, the Comanches of Shiny. Whoa.
Shiny?
That wasn't right. The Comanches of Shiner. How does that sound?
Better.
They will win 55-19 over Brackettville, and Iola getting the big win 35-7 over La Villa.
Let me tell you something. You look at this, okay? Granger, Junction, Shiner, you know what they have in common? Undefeated. You got 3 undefeated teams into the regional semifinals, including a matchup of unbeatens between Granger and Junction. This is going to be a lot of fun. That Junction defense, I'm telling you, they've given up 91 points
good.
all year. That is going to be terrific because this Granger offense has been electrifying. That is 2A Division 2. Let's zoom out. Here's your Sweet 16 in the smallest 11-man classification. There's bangers all over the place.
Yeah.
Mart Bremond, Granger Junction, Albany Munster, Collinsville Lindsay, Ropes and Groover.
Bovina!
Break up the Bovina Mustangs! 2A Division 2 is going to be a ton of fun. TexasFootball.com/playoffs is where you can find everything you need for the 2025 Texas High School Football Playoffs. You would think that we are done.
Wrong.
You might think that.
Wrong.
If you were not paying attention. We got Class 1A. That's right. 6-man football. We put a bow on this bad boy if you hang out with us here for one more break. Help us pay some bills.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
Round and third heading for home here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight area round playoff extravaganza. Greg Tupper, Ashley Pickle with you. It's time for some 6-man action. One of the great things about 6-man football is that you get to the good stuff quicker because there's one fewer round of the playoffs. And so as a result, you get some absolute bangers. Let's take a look at 1A Division 1. Let's take a look at the overall bracket of how that broke down here in the action. You got regional finals now. Whiteface knocks out Booker in an impressive fashion. Of course, the reigning state finalists from a year ago. They are back into the regional final. They will take on the Red Devils of Rankin, who took down the Swifts of Nazareth 60-14. Robert Lee, the Steers, will get a rematch with their district rival Water Valley, their only loss of the year. We will see that as both those teams knocked off Turkey Valley and Newcastle, respectively. The banger of the weekend was Aquila surviving a scare from Milford. They are through to the regional semifinals where they were take on Union Hill out of the greater Gilmer area, where they knocked off Chester. And then down there, the Region 4 final is going to be fantastic. Gordon still has not played a second half this year. They knock off, they 45 Menard, previously unbeaten Menard, 61-14. They will take on May, a team that we've been waiting for them to get. They beat Medina 72-24. So there's your Elite Eight here in 1A Division 1. You've got two rematches, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you got two rematches here with Gordon, or rather Robert Lee and Water Valley. Is a rematch, and then is Rankin one? No, I'm sorry, only one rematch. Water Valley and Rankin, but that Gordon May game is a game we've been waiting for quite some time. So that's 1A Division 2.
We take a look now at 1A Division 2 and how the bracket's going to shape out there. In Region 1, Miami gets a big win over Sands 58-57 as they squeak that one out. Klondike, the Dalton Graffenried show continues as they get a 46-34 win over Motley County. You look at Region 2, Benjamin with a big win over Balmorhea, 68-16, and Jayton gets a big win, 68-18 over Grand Royal. So let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights from one of those aforementioned ones, and it's Balmorhea and Benjamin. We start off here in the first quarter. The Mustangs would get us started, and it's Jace Trevino who opts to keep it himself and go all the way for the score. Doesn't even get touched once. Mustangs up 8-0. Later on in the first, it's Benjamin back on offense. They're going to take the snap, and this time it's Keegan Hayes. He's going to go in the air and drops an absolute dime to Hagen Weatherford in the air for another 6. They would tack on 2 more after that. First quarter, Balmorhea, it's time for the Bears, and it's Villanueva who takes the snap, scrambling, finally finds the man downfield, and it's Joaquin Garcia who pulls it in to put Balmorhea on the board again. Benjamin goes on to win it 68-16.
Richland Springs taking on Zephyr. Ethan Deeds going to load up and fire deep behind Cohen Etheridge here for a deep strike. Coyotes are up early on Zephyr. Then it's Deeds again. Mr. Deeds. Dancing in the backfield. Eventually, he's going to dump it off here to Billy Perry, who's going to do the rest. He will scoot in for a score. Coyotes in control in this one. Then it's Cohen Etheridge again, this time running the ball. Going to take the snap because remember, you got the exchange rule. Can't just quarterback sneak it. He will take it. Look at the quickness from the junior. What a playmaker he is. Richland Springs rolls to a 59-12 Mercy Rule win over Zephyr. Let's take one more big look at the overall 1A Division 2 bracket. Strong and surprising three-way who knocked off Fannondale. They refused to go down. That is a big-time regional final there in Region 1. And then Richland Springs will take on Oglesby, who knocked off Cherokee. I thought that was a bit of an upset there. But Richland Springs and Oglesby is your Region 4 final. So there you go. That's 1A Division 2. That is every single bracket. You can find all the updated brackets at texasfootball.com/playoffs.
So there you go. All of the brackets are done and up, like he said, but we're not quite done yet. How about we go ahead and switch from the area round now into the regional semifinals? We just announced all of them, but we take a look at our Built Ford Tough games to watch next week. We've got Prosper and South Lake Carroll, Smithson Valley and San Antonio, Piper Canyon and West Plains, Troop and Newton, Ganado, Holly, Gordon, May. My goodness, that's a slate in every single classification.
And I want you to think about the games that aren't on here. Yeah. Albany Munster is not on here. Carthage Pleasant Grove is not on here. Like, we always talk about this as a feast week because it's Thanksgiving week, but it is a football feast as well. Now, we want to remind you that just because it's a holiday week doesn't mean that we're taking the week off. No. We have got programming on Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com all week long. Monday, it's Monday Morning Fallout. Myself and Ashley Pickle overreacting to everything from the football weekend. Then, a very special time, Wednesday at noon. It's the Texas Football Today Thanksgiving Spectacular. Nobody loves Thanksgiving more than us. That is, in fact, a true statement.
That is factual.
Make sure you come and hang out with us for the Thanksgiving Spectacular. We'll get you ready for the football weekend in style before you go and you pig out on Thanksgiving. I got nothing else to say about the playoffs, honestly. I'm about wrapped up.
No, I'm thinking about Thanksgiving now.
Me too. We do appreciate you spending part of your Saturday evening with us. TexasFootball.com/playoffs is your home for the 2025 Texas High School Football Playoffs. Make sure you go check that out. For our producer, Vianney Moreno and Ashley Pickle, I am Greg Tepper. We will see you Monday on Texas Football Today. We will see you next Saturday for the season finale of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. See ya.
Bye.